Hello, it's Tom Donald from the London Contemporary School of Piano, and today I'm going to show you how to play minor 2-5-1s on the piano. Now, many of you who are studying jazz, you're probably spending a lot of time practicing your major 2-5-1s, and that's all you've ever known with your 2-5-1s. You're practicing all these 2-5-1s in a major key, but you've never come across, or very seldom put time into practicing minor 2-5-1s. Let's talk about it. The minor 2-5-1 has a really soulful, beautiful feel, and it really will grab a lot of the listeners' attentions and feelings and emotions. You hear it in a lot of Latin music, Cuban music, and you also hear it integrated in many classic jazz standards. And by the way, if you're a fan of our work at the London Contemporary School of Piano, you should head over to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, and use our free resources pack. You just have to ask for it. Just ask a member of our team by sending us an email for us to send it over to you, and we'll send it to you straight away. And the free resources pack is a great extra resource that will go alongside these YouTube videos. So let's talk about minor 2-5-1 chords and how to play them. So if you look, firstly, just to get into the theory, if you look at the notes in a standard minor scale, I'll start with a C minor scale. I'll play it as a harmonic minor. What kind of triads does that produce? Well, that produces, let's say, a chord 1 is a C minor, a chord 2 is a D diminished. So chord 2 in the minor realm is a diminished. Chord 3 is major. Chord 4 is minor. The dominant chord 5 is major. Dominant's always major in the case of major and minor. So chord 5 is major. Chord 6 is major. Chord 7 is diminished. And then we resolve back to 1. So a 2-5-1 of a minor key is 2 diminished, 5 major, and 1 minor. So we're going diminished, major, minor. Now when we add sevenths to that, and we're playing in the key of C minor, so when we add the jazz sevenths to that, we get a D half diminished to a G7 to a C minor 7. Now there are other ways we can play it and voice it, but that's a basic minor 2-5-1. So in the case of C minor, we've got D half diminished, G7, and then C minor 7. And sometimes you can resolve it differently. You could go D half diminished, G7. Oh, this is a nice spiky one. This is a C minor major 7. We don't come across this chord very often. In fact, I mainly see students play this chord by accident when they're meant to be playing a minor 7 chord. But it is a very specific chord with a very specific sound. It's a great dramatic ending, for instance, to a ballad tune. There are many other variations we can put on a minor 2-5-1. For instance, we could have the D half diminished going to a augmented dominant 7. So that's where I'm raising the 5th note of the dominant 7. And the reason why that works is because that E flat is already in the key of C minor. So it melts very nicely into my C minor chord, in this case a C minor 7. So let me just play this with a few alternative voicings, and you can have a look at my hands and see if you can work some of these out. I'll start with some simple ones, then I'll move on to some more complex ones. And that's the great thing. These are musical colours that you want to play with. You don't want to get too lost in just the theory side of things. You want to just try adding notes to the chord and experimenting and seeing what sounds you make. And minor 2-5-1s do have a lovely quality to them, which invites experimentation a little bit. So that's always a nice thing to know. So here are some variations. See what I did at the last chord there? I added a ninth and a sixth with the minor. So it had a really nice flavour to the sound. And then of course, tenths in the left hand for your voicing. Now I'm just gently striding the left hand now. This works really well with the blues. So the 2-5-1 in a minor key works beautifully with the minor blues scale. Let me demonstrate by putting the 2-5-1 into the left hand, and I'll play some blues over the top in the right hand. So I'm playing a 2-5-1 again in C minor, and I'm just going to add some C minor blues scale in my improvisation in the right hand. And of course, minor 2-5-1s work so well with Latin grooves. And for many of you, you're probably not spending enough time on groove. Groove is a topic where so many musicians just keep away from, or so many music students, I should say, keep away from. And that's why we have a groove course. And if you do visit our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, or you just click this link that's in our description, you can find out more information about our Groove Everyday course. It's for a mere $25 US or 20 British pounds or whatever currency you're in. It's a 3-hour groove marathon that you can switch on and you can play with and add to your practice. It's a really valuable practice resource. And you know, you can really hear, I can't explain it just in one YouTube video, the importance of groove, but adding groove and great rhythm to these lovely sophisticated chords will just add a dimension to your playing that, you know, is irresistible. Groove is irresistible. So particularly in this type of chord configuration, groove often is so important. However, back onto the topic of harmony again. Us pianists are addicted to harmony. We have the instrument of harmony in front of us. You should practice this in, obviously, as many keys as you can. I've just made some demonstrations in C minor today, but you know, you can practice in G minor. Any key. I mean, you need to perhaps really schedule some keys with your practicing. And many of you try and climb Mount Everest by trying to practice too many keys at once. Perhaps if you're struggling to get out of just a few basic keys, give yourself perhaps 4 keys to study in a month, and then another 4 keys to study the next month. After 3 months, you would have covered all 12 keys. But for many of you, trying to cover all 12 keys in just 1 week is not going to be feasible. Some of you who are more advanced will be able to do that. I think 2-5-1 sounds particularly beautiful in keys such as E flat minor. Let me demonstrate. By the way, if you think E flat minor is really, really hard and advanced theory, just remember the E flat minor blues scale, you could teach it to a complete beginner. You could teach it to anyone off the streets. All it is all of the black keys on the piano plus an A. So the E flat minor 2-5-1 is quite fun. We're going to finish off with a really nice party trick. Well, this party trick is used in so many beautiful jazz standards. You know, I think of pieces like All the Things You Are and a whole bunch of other repertoires. So this is when we combine the major and the minor 2-5-1 and mix the two together. So for instance, we can have a diminished 2, a dominant 7, and a major chord 1. What would that sound like? That's beautiful, isn't it? So you've got the diminished, dramatic minor descendant chord 2, going to the dominant 7, which is always quite neutral, the dominant 7 in a way, because it is the same chord for both major and minor functions, and then the chord 1, sort of finishing on that lovely major chord. And you could add a little bit of sparkle to that C major 7th that I've just played, like we could add an F sharp to it by adding that sharpened 4th. It just adds a little bit of mystery to it. So we've got this now. We've got the diminished 2, the dominant 7, the major 7 with the sharpened 4th, ending. Let me play that a couple of times. So have fun with your practice and just enjoy playing with these musical colours. And that's what it's all about. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much.
And if you're really serious, you should ask for our Groove Pack. Our Groove Pack is just a mere 25 US dollars or 20 British pounds, whatever currency you use. And it will be a wonderful supporting resource for today's video, which is going to insert groove into your playing. And by you heading on over to our website and supporting us, that gives us the facility to keep creating more wonderful free videos for you on YouTube. So it's a great way to support us, but it actually more or less supports yourself. And these topics on groove are so important.